Hi. So, talking about the play Intimate Apparel, something that I found both interesting and ironic was the fact that neither George nor Esther were the ones writing their letters for different reasons, but I just found that interesting. One of the values that I saw being expressed throughout the play was the importance of marriage. All of the women seemed to be very focused on getting married, whether or not they were in love. Mrs. Van Buren, Esther, and Mrs. Dixon. An example of this was on page 33 when Mrs. Dixon specifically said that she only married her husband because she was 37, so she felt that she was running out of time. She didn't have a profession, and she couldn't find anyone better. So, and also the value of money. It really became apparent that George was only interested in Esther so that he could run off with her money, which is what he did. A word that I looked up throughout my reading was the word crossfade, which means dissolving from one image to another. And this word was used quite a few times in the stage directions, so looking it up and knowing the meaning kind of like helped me visualize the play a little bit better when I was reading it. So the three R's. I think that this play reinforces the African American experience. It was focused on several African American characters that were working really hard but not seeming to get anywhere. This was very common in the early 1900s, especially in a huge populated city like New York City. And I also think that this play reinforces African American stereotypes. An example of this being when Mrs. Van Buren expresses to Esther that she wants to be her friend, but she can't be seen in public with her because of those stereotypical segregated friendships. Do I think that stereotypes still exist? Of course. I think that stereotypes are so deeply rooted in American society. And I think that these stereotypes continue to exist because of socialization, especially throughout early development, parents passing down these values to their children, and also observation. And this doesn't just have to do with race. The example that I use is about women, actually, and how if a child grows up seeing his or her mother constantly cooking and cleaning and somewhat acting as a servant towards the father or male figure of the household, that he or she may grow up thinking that that is like the primary role of all women. Stereotypes are overcome, though, I personally think, through education, breaking down these walls, and also practicing open-mindedness. The typical don't judge a book by its cover example. You can never really know about a certain group or individuals of a group if they hold true to that stereotype until you actually get to know them. And then the two questions that I had about the play, I'm really interested to know if Mamie knew all along that she was having an affair with George, and she was just covering it up. I know that that was kind of alluded to. And also, I'm very curious to know whether or not Mr. Marks will leave his fiancée for Esther, who he so clearly has feelings for. So thank you.